Short and sweet Nikke reviews. Episode Prika. Go! Following closely behind group member Mint, Prika is the second member from TT Star to be a pullable character. Let's look at her kit. Skill 1's first effect activates when attacking with full charge. It affects all allies, buffing their projectile explosion damage and pierce damage by 20% and 13.09% respectively, while buffing their flat attack by 20% of Prika's attack. All these buffs last for 3 seconds each. Skill 1's second effect affects Prika and activates while in performance status. Performance status is one triggered by Prika's burst, which we will cover later. For now, Prika's second skill 1 effect gives her a continuous pierce buff, and increases her potency of HP restored by 49.02% continuously. Her skill 2 has 2 different effects, the first of which activates when entering full burst. It buffs Prika's own max HP by 19.98% for 10 seconds. The second effect activates when Sing-Along takes effect while Prika is in performance status. If you remember from my Mint review, Sing-Along is an effect that takes place when Mint uses her full burst. Sing-Along being triggered through Mint's status then essentially also triggers 4 additional effects through Prika's second skill 2 effect, which includes the following. Locks Mint into assigned part singing, extends performance by 21 seconds, increases the attack damage of all allies by 25.01% for 10 seconds, and finally increases Prika's burst cooldown by 21 seconds. Finally, Prika's burst skill affects all allies and applies a function called performance, which restores 3.04% of Prika's final max HP every 1 second for 25 seconds. It also increases charge damage by 25% for 25 seconds, which is an effect that cannot be removed. Unfortunately, Prika is mid as hell on her own without Mint. She can essentially not use half of her kit if Mint isn't on her team, as most of her skills are built specifically to enable Mint and her burst and buff combo involving performance, sing-along, and assigned part singing. Prika is not worth pulling for if you don't have Mint, unless of course you are pulling purely for waifu purposes. Prika gets a 5 out of 10 C tier score on her own, while the two of them together are both elevated to 9 out of 10 high A tier units. Thematically appropriate, the TT Star members shine brightest when they team up, and their kits being thematically appropriate are the only reason I'm not crashing out over these two units being heavily dependent on each other to shine brightest.